Hey, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your day, and thanks for listening. Thanks for telling your friends, by the way, too, because I see on my website how many hits we're getting, which is just off the chart amazing, but also how many people like me on Facebook. And I do appreciate you telling your friends because you're liking me on Facebook. It's Facebook/Dr. Joe Esposito. And you're telling your friends and they're telling their friends. And it really is great because I send out a lot of good information on Facebook as well when I have lectures, when we have specials on our supplements, things like that. So just want to take a second to say thanks. And if you're first joining us, glad you could be here. I am Dr. Joe Esposito, board certified in chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management, double board certified in nutrition. That's 5 board certifications. BS in clinical nutrition, retired dietitian, award-winning author. This show is nationally syndicated, but it's heard all over the world through the internet. And I've been in practice over 32 years. So what I'm going to do today, a little different. Again, if you're a first-time listener, you don't know that. But little different style. We're just going to throw out some lifestyle strategies that I want you to consider implementing. And I want you to consider implementing them now. Because the biggest complaint I get in my offices is, why didn't I do this sooner? I have so many healthcare problems. Why didn't I do this sooner? And we're going to answer those questions for you so that you can start now. So that a year or 2 years or a month from now, you don't say, I should have done this a month ago. So let's just jump right into it. So if you're ready to get started, you're ready to start taking some steps, and so many patients are. They come to me and say, Dr. Joe, I want to get well. I'm tired of my back pain, my leg pain, my obesity, my headaches, my gas, my bloating, my bad breath, whatever it is. But I don't know what to do. Anybody in that boat? Raise your hand. I bet you are. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions as to what to do. Because it's not hard, it's easy, and that's the cool part. And you'll save a ton of money. People are always complaining about health care. You know, the health care crisis. It's not a health care crisis. It's a sick care crisis, first of all, because if you're healthy, you don't use health care. But the big thing is that we keep talking about insurances and, you know, is this plan going to work? Is the Republican plan better? Is the Democratic plan better? What's going to change? Do I have to have insurance? Do I not have to have insurance? I don't want insurance. I don't want to have to pay for insurance. I'm healthy. I take care of myself. And on the political argument is probably going to go on till the end of time. The one argument I don't think there is nobody talks about health care. They talk about health coverage, but not health care. And the argument in health care is, what can I do to make myself better? I didn't do enough. I'm arguing with myself. So I'm going to give you some strategies I want you to start implementing right now. And when you do, chances are you're going to be really happy, and you're going to say what everybody else says. And what is it? Why didn't I do this sooner? So let's go through step by step. I got a bunch from here, so I'll try to cover as many as I can for you. Number one, and this is a biggie because I see it everywhere. I want you to give up soda. What? Give up soda? That's insane. I can't give up soda. I drink soda every day. I drink it 4 times a day. I drink diet soda. I drink regular soda. You can buy caffeine. I've got supercharged caffeine. I got caffeine with sugar. Soda is one of the easiest, quickest, simplest steps that you can take to get yourself healthy. Obesity, diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, liver damage, osteoporosis, acid reflux. These are just a few of the things associated with you drinking soda. So I'm going to try to hit you with logic, and then I'll teach you how to get over it. Now, if you're drinking soda on a daily basis, I want you to commit to swapping it for healthier beverages. Things like water, sparkling water, occasional cup of tea. I drink tea all the time. In fact, one of the teas I drink a lot of is called Slippery Elm tea. And there's some brand names for it, throat coat or throat discomfort, or a lot of different brands. But Slippery Elm is an herb that helps coat your throat, your intestines, all the mucous membranes in the body. Now, I do a lot of talking. I do my radio shows. I give lectures. Of course, I still see patients. I still have a full-time practice. And so I do a lot of talking, phone consultations, because a lot of folks aren't within our listening area. So if you're outside the listening area, we could always do phone consultations when it comes to nutrition and health. So I thought, I got to protect my throat. And so I do something called Slippery Elm tea on a regular basis. Now, it's not the only tea I drink. There's other teas I like. I like cinnamon teas. I like clove teas. If you're going to drink regular black tea, be careful. Because regular black tea, first of all, has caffeine. And caffeine, if you're a new listener, I was going to say you know how that works, but we always get new listeners. There's a chemical in your brain called adenosine. Adenosine is released into your brain, and it's absorbed in something called adenosine receptor sites. So adenosine is released, it's absorbed at this other place, and it makes you tired. It's the reason you relax and get tired. Caffeine looks a lot like adenosine, and a lot of the stimulants do, a lot of stimulating drugs. So it blocks up the adenosine receptor site, so it really doesn't give you energy. It just prevents you from getting tired. And so what happens is your body says, no, wait a minute, Joe. I need to get rest, and you're not giving me any rest, so I'm going to produce more adenosine receptor sites so I can absorb more adenosine so I can get tired. And so what do you need more of then? You need more coffee or tea or whatever it is that has your caffeine in it. And so eventually you're altering the chemistry of the brain in a negative way. I want you to alter the chemistry in your brain in a positive way. So I want you to consider not doing caffeine, and it's hard. In my first book, it's called Eating Right for the Health of It, I have a chapter called Kicking the Habit. And what that chapter is about is how to get off your caffeinated beverages or caffeinated whatevers. Take a cup of coffee, if it's coffee or soda, whatever it is, and I want you to take 1 tablespoon every hour. And then if you need it the next hour, take another tablespoon. If really bad addiction, you may need 2 tablespoons. But eventually, your body's going to start to reboot itself. You'll start to grow more adenosine receptor sites, and you'll start getting off your caffeine without getting headaches. So we don't want that happening. So that's why I have a whole chapter in my book, it's only a couple of pages, dedicated to kicking your habit, getting you off your addiction. But soda oftentimes has caffeine in it. And a lot of people drink it because it has caffeine. If you do diet soda, that's even worse. And I'll talk about diet soda in a second. If you do coffee, a lot of caffeine, I'm going to ask you to do this. I'll negotiate with you. If you're going to do coffee, I want you to do organic coffee only. Organic decaffeinated, better still. But what happens is with coffee, it's sprayed with a ton of chemicals and pesticides. And so if you're doing coffee, you're not only drinking the caffeine, which is an acid, and when you put acid in your body has to neutralize the acid by using calcium and other minerals to neutralize the acids. So you're wasting calcium. But if you're doing coffee, you're getting a lot of chemicals and pesticides. So I want you to consider cutting the coffee out of your diet. And if you're not willing to do that quite yet, I want you to do organic only, or organic decaffeinated is a better choice. If you do regular decaffeinated, we know that isn't organic. Many times they'll decaffeinate it with turpentine and formaldehyde. And so now you may have residual turpentine and formaldehyde in your coffee, which is not good either. So organic decaffeinated, they don't use turpentine and formaldehyde. That's your better choice. And then eventually I'd like to wean yourself off it and get to some natural teas if you can. Now, when you consume soda, because that's what we started talking about a while ago, it increases something called dopamine production. Now, if you've listened to me before, you've heard me use that word a lot. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your brain that gives you pleasure. And so when you're in love, how many people have been in love? Isn't it fun the first couple of weeks? Boy, cynical, aren't I? The dopamine levels go high, and your serotonin levels drop. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that gives you logic, helps you focus. And so that's why when you're crazy in love, you can't focus, you can't think straight, you're gaga over the person. Well, the dopamine levels are high, serotonin is low. And then over time, usually it takes about 6 months, the serotonin levels and the dopamine levels start to normalize again. And then you're not in that high anymore. And the thing you loved about that person, it was so cute the way he giggled or the way she talked on the phone so much or the way he, watched video games. Suddenly you start to hate that person for it. I got advice years ago from a gal I used to date. She says, the thing you love about someone is the thing that will eventually drive you crazy about them. And I thought, boy, is that ever true now that I'm older. So the dopamine levels drop. And so you might want to continue to try to get high, try to maintain that feeling. And so you'll turn to things like sugar, which then cause you to stimulate the dopamine, the pleasure centers in your brain, and you get high. Back to love for a second. If the dopamine levels drop, you can switch over to a neurotransmitter called oxytocin. Oxytocin is a neurotransmitter that bonds you to the other person. It's released when women breastfeed. It's released during romance between men and women. And so oxytocin is the bonding hormone. Some people switch over to the oxytocin levels and everything's fine. Some people don't. And when you don't, that's when you say 6 months later, I don't know what I'm doing with this person. I got to get rid of them. They annoy the heck out of me. So it's really chemistry. Tina Turner said, love's just a chemical reaction. What's love got to do with it? It's just a chemical reaction. Absolutely true. And so if we can maintain normal chemistry in the body, we have pleasure on an ongoing regular basis. And then chances are better that you're able to establish a healthier relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, a family relationship, mother-child, father-daughter, father-son, roommates, buddies. Because if the body isn't capable of maintaining a normal chemistry, you're not capable of maintaining a normal relationship. Back to soda. I digress. So the soda stimulates the dopamine receptor sites, physically identical to that of heroin. We can take a functional MRI of your brain, which means a real-time MRI, and take a picture of your brain, and we can give you heroin. And the pleasure centers in your brain, usually the nucleus accumbens, lights up, and you get high, and you go, "No, baby, I feel good." That's what drugs do. We can give you sugar, the same part of the brain lights up, only more. So sugar, based on that study, is more addicting than heroin. Heroin's illegal, hard to get. Sugar's not illegal, easy to get. So a lot more people are addicted to sugar than are to heroin, but for some reason, sugar's acceptable. Let's have donuts, let's have coffee, let's have cake. Heroin isn't. I don't think heroin should be. I don't think sugar should be either. It explains why so many find it difficult to give up their daily fix of soda. It can be done, and I promise you, once you normalize the chemistry in your brain, you'll feel better. Don't make the mistake of switching to diet sodas that are artificially sweetened. If you do diet soda, one of the popular chemicals they put in diet soda is called aspartame. Little chemistry lesson. Aspartame breaks down to 3 components: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl esters. Don't worry about the chemistry. Aspartic acid stimulates your brain. It's an excitotoxin. It causes the brain to fire faster than it's supposed to and can literally burn out your brain cells. Glutamine does the same thing. Glutamic acid is an excitotoxin. Where might you find isolated glutamine? Monosodium glutamate. Exactly. This is why so many people have a similar reaction to glutamine as they do aspartic acid. Now, if you take these amino acids, that's what they are, and you mix them with other amino acids, which is what makes up proteins. Amino acids are the building blocks or the raw materials that assemble them and they produce protein. If you mix them with other amino acids, it's fine. Your body needs some aspartic acid. It needs glutamine. It needs glutamine to produce neurotransmitters in your brain like GABA or norepinephrine. So you have to have glutamine in small amounts. When you have it in large amounts, like Chinese food, with extra monosodium glutamate thrown in, it can cause the brain to fire faster than it's supposed to and literally burn out your brain cells. Same thing with artificial sweeteners. This is why so many companies are switching from artificial sweeteners, getting away from aspartame certainly, and they're switching to things like stevia. There's 2 big companies now, Truvia and Purvia. You ever heard of those? Truvia and Purvia are stevia extracts, but essentially it's stevia. And who do you think owns Truvia and Purvia? Coke and Pepsi. The big soda companies own the natural sweetener companies. Isn't that an interesting twist? Because I believe, this is my opinion, editorial at this point, I believe that they're realizing how toxic these things like sucralose and aspartame are, and they had to come up with an alternative that's non-toxic. And that's where they came up with stevia, which I've been talking about for the past 30 years, by the way. So finally, we'll put that in the Dr. Joe's Right column because I was right about that one. And so people want to get sweets. I like the flavor of sweets. I have tea in front of me right now. In fact, I have slippery elm tea in front of me with stevia in it as a sweetener. I have Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source sitting in front of me. Why? Because that's the minimum amount of nutrients you should be taking every day is Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. It's a scoop of each. It's a powder. I mix it with coconut milk. I think I used almond milk today because it was on sale. People ask me, what brand do you use? I said, the one on sale. That's the one I use. And I put it in a jar and I shake it up. Let's see if you could hear it. There you go. That's me shaking it up there. And I shake it up because it dissolves better. And I'll take that every single day. But I sweeten that with stevia as well. I add a little bit of stevia to the Essential Source. It's in there already. You don't have to sweeten it. When I manufacture it, we do that. And boy, I tell you, it tastes great. Tastes great, makes you feel good, helps your brain work better. It alkalizes your system. It gives you vitamins, minerals, and nutrients you're not getting anywhere else. It has enzymes in it. Enzymes help fight infection, inflammation. It's the reason you're alive is because of enzymes. So instead of doing things like diet sodas, maybe do sodas sweetened with stevia. You will see, I promise you, next 5 to 10 years, a lot of the artificial sweeteners going to the wayside in the United States, and we're going to start using stevia like a lot of other countries do. So we're talking about nutrition to keep the body healthy and things you can do every single day. But the 3 things you have to have in order to obtain and maintain good health are normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition. Those are the 3 things that are part of a normal healthcare plan, a functioning healthcare plan, I should say. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, chances are you have pinched nerves. But the kicker is this: 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. So you could have a pinched nerve and not know it. And that's why in our offices we like to check the nerves that feel pain and check the nerves that don't feel pain. Ask your doctor when the last time he checked your nerves that don't feel pain or the nerves that do feel pain are. Chances are never. So we want to check that. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, many times the stomach is up against your diaphragm, go to my website. I have a great article on this. It's called GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. The website is drjoeesposito.com. You just Google Dr. Joe with the number 1 Dr. Joe in the world, and you can read the article, and we talk about the techniques we use in our offices to pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. Works great. I have that condition, and when my stomach acts up, pull it back down. Works wonderful. So you got to get the nervous system working, got to get the diet straightened out, and you got to get your digestive system working. So if you'd like to make an appointment to come see us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. I'd be more than happy to meet with you and see if you're a candidate for treatment. We don't accept everyone. We only accept the patients I think we can help. And the patients want to help themselves, too. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. You can do it right online. If you have questions, you can call us. The phone numbers are all there. You can call the main office, and we'll get you set up. And we accept most major medical insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. And, folks, the way insurance is going now, it's ridiculous. It doesn't cover hardly anything. I truly believe something dramatic has to happen to the insurance system because doctors don't want to be doctors anymore. Every doctor I know wants to drop out. I don't know one doctor that is thinking, I'm going to do this forever and never retire. Every doctor I talk to is talking about a retirement plan because they're just sick and tired of not being able to be doctors and being technicians filling out paperwork. So it's going to get worse before it gets better. So if you're ready to get well, don't wait. Go to my website, make an appointment, drjoeesposito.com, and we do accept most major medical insurances anyway. We'd love to see you as soon as possible. We're talking today about strategies that you can implement today to start getting well. And don't be like most of my patients that come see me, and they always say, why didn't I do this sooner? Biggest complaint I get, why didn't I do this sooner? And the answer I have for them is, I don't know. I don't know why you waited so long, but you shouldn't have. And now shame on you because you didn't know it. Now, if you didn't know, great. You're forgiven. What? Famous guy once said what? Forgive them, say it with me, for they know not what they do. So many people are in the dark when it comes to healthcare. Not insurance, healthcare. And now you know. I'm giving you the information. And by the way, I archive my radio shows. Hundreds of hours of radio shows are archived on my website, drjoeesposito.com. Or you just Google Dr. Joe with the number 1 Dr. Joe in the world, and you could listen to the radio shows. I videotape a lot of my lectures. I give live lectures a lot. You can watch videos. Some people are visual learners. Get to see my pretty face there. And I can show you things on the videos I can't show you on the radio, or in my offices we do it too, because so much of healthcare is physical, not chemical. You need to take control of the chemicals. Now, we're talking about artificial sweeteners. Sucralose, when that gets in your body, it's a chlorinated hydrocarbon. When you chlorinate a hydrocarbon, it stimulates your estrogen receptor sites, acting like estrogen. Folks, we don't need any more estrogen in our bodies. In our current society in America, we are exposing ourselves to so many estrogen-like compounds. Plastics, new car smell, carpet cleaners, air fresheners, perfumes, deodorants, hairsprays, shampoos. Anything that has an artificial fragrance to it, chances are, has some type of estrogen-disrupting chemical in it. And you don't want to do that. Now, if you're drinking artificial sweetener, sucralose, you're giving yourself more estrogen receptors or estrogen receptor chemicals. Why would you do that? Abnormal cell growth. We don't want abnormal cell growth. We need less cell growth, not more as an adult. And so you want to cut that back as well. So you can do sodas sweetened with stevia, which you're going to see happen. There are sodas on the market now that are sweetened with stevia. And the major brands, I promise you, are going to start using stevia in the next several years. And so what we're drinking today will become a thing of the past. Good, because of people like me that have been pushing this and telling the truth. and stevia is going to become more popular. And you're going to see more natural sweeteners come out. Monk fruit is another one, erythritol, xylitol. These are all sweeteners that are safer than the ones you're doing right now. So we're going to continue talking about things that you need to do every single day, strategies that you can start implementing today. I'd like to see you consider, I got to cover this, sugar. Back to sugar. Not all sugar is vegan. What the heck does that mean? Of course sugar is vegan. It comes from sugar cane. It's a plant. A lot of times what happens is companies will char bones and use them as a filter. Now, a lot of these charred bones come from other countries that we import. We import animal bones, char them, and then use them as a filter to filter out the toxins from the sugar, not the toxins, the imperfections of the sugar, which are actually the good stuff, the nutrients, to create a white sugar. We can't use bones from animals killed in the United States. Isn't that interesting? Because a lot of the animals in the United States, in my opinion, the reason they don't do that, and I don't have any proof of this one yet, I got to research it, are because we feed the animals steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, tranquilizers, and a lot of those toxic chemicals build up in the bones. Same thing with you as a human. Those toxic chemicals can build up in the bones and cause some real serious damage. So why would you want to put toxic chemicals in your body? Makes no sense. And now, a lot of you vegans out there, a lot of folks are vegan now. I know I was so uncool when I was a vegan 30 years ago. Now everybody's joined my little bandwagon. Not everybody, but a lot of you have. So you're going out for dessert, vegan dessert. Doesn't have any eggs in it. Ooh, this is great. But the sugar, first of all, is bad. And second of all, it may have used charred animal bones. So be careful with that. Just throwing it out there for you. I want you to try eating an avocado every day. Avocados are loaded with monounsaturated fats, and they can be burned as energy. So say you're tired all the time. A lot of that is because you're eating sugar, which is robbing the body of energy, caffeine robbing the body of energy. And so your body wants to burn a more efficient fuel. And fat burns more efficiently than sugar. And so things like avocados, coconut oil, excellent sources of energy. You wouldn't think eating avocado for energy works, because the monounsaturated fats burn pretty easily. And because they're so rich in healthy fats, avocados also help you absorb fat-soluble vitamins. One of the things I see that drives me nuts are fat-free salad dressings. That's not a good idea, because the fat in the salad dressing helps you absorb things like vitamin A, D, E, and K. These are fat-soluble vitamins. So you need fat in your diet, not less fat. Most of us need more fat. Good fats. Not corn oil, not soy oil. These are omega-6 fatty acids. Omega-6 fatty acids increase inflammation. When you start using things like olive oil, monounsaturated fats, omega-3 fatty acids, these decrease inflammation. Much better choices. So I want you to consider switching over to better oils. And if you do a fat-free salad dressing, you're not going to be absorbing the A, D, E, and K as well as you should. And so you're kind of saying, I'm going to eat this healthy salad, but I can't absorb the nutrients. It's not so much, when it comes to nutrition, what you ingest, it's what you digest. Get that difference? It's not so much what you ingest, it's what you digest. And so I want you to ingest good food, and I want you to be able to digest it. So if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, those are signs you're not digesting your food properly. So many times with the stomach, for example, we need to pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, because the stomach is up into the diaphragm, many times called a hiatal hernia. And if we pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, you're able to digest your food. Then we have to check the nerves from the spine that control the digestive system, and then we have to put good food in your body. Now you have a health care plan. I got to plug it as Joe Obamacare. I like that, Joe Obamacare. So we got to get a health care plan together, nervous system, digestive system, and nutrition. So, folks, if you'd like to come see us in our offices, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, first Dr. Joe in the world. You can make an appointment right online. We archive radio shows there. You can order Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. You know, even better, folks, just come to the offices and pick them up. You save on shipping. I want to save you money, too. So those are available on the website, or you can pick them up at the offices, and it's a minimum amount of nutrients you need every single day. But if you want to make an appointment, get the spine check, get the digestive system check, get your diet straightened out, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. We accept most major medical insurances. If you've ever been in a car accident and the car was damaged, you and the occupants were damaged 100% of the time. Even if it doesn't hurt now, It's going to be a problem later. That's why you want to get it checked. Hey, got to go to a break. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, I'm so glad that you're spending a little time with me. I am Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about some strategies that you can implement into your life right away to start getting well. A lot of times when I do a show, if you're a new listener, you don't know this, but you groupies know that I usually pick one topic and run with it. But today we're kind of chopping it up a little bit and doing different topics because people say, Dr. Joe, I want to get well. I want to get healthy. I just don't know what to do. Give me the first step. And so I'm giving you a lot of first steps. You can choose which one you want. Some of you will take my advice, run with it, and be blown away. I get emails literally every single day from you, the listeners, saying, Dr. Joe, I've been listening to you for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. I've been following you since you got in practice 30 years ago. And I do what you say, and it's amazing. My cholesterol is down. My weight is down. My love life improved. My brain works better. I have healthy relationships. Everything is great. Some of you need a little more coaxing. So I'm kind of giving you little baby steps, and you can take them all, or you can take some of them. But I want you to take something and start changing your life today. At least start giving your body some nutrients. Gosh, your body is so depleted in nutrients. At least give them your body, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. That will be my minimum starting point because they're relatively inexpensive. They're loaded with nutrients. If you were going to buy everything that's in the powders that we give you there, it would cost you a fortune. But we put it together for you. We keep it we process it at a low temperature so the enzymes are still active. I have it right here in front of me. In fact, you can listen to it. There you go. That's me shaking it up in my jar there. But I have it every single day, at least once a day. Now, if I'm going on a date, if I'm going hiking, if I have a big radio show to do or a lecture, if I'm going to I'm going to travel somewhere and do a presentation, I'll take a double or triple dose sometimes. Stuff's amazing. It tastes good too. But that's the minimum thing I want you to do, and that's on my website, drjoeesposito.com. I want you to consider maybe eating an avocado every day. Research shows that adding an avocado to your salads allows you to absorb 3 to 5 times more carotenoids and antioxidants that help protect your body from something called free radical damage. Free radicals are like Pac-Man. They attack things, waka, 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 waka. And they attack your body, and they eat away at your cells, and they eat away your connective tissue. And you need antioxidants to neutralize the free radicals. Where do you get antioxidants from? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Gee, sounds like Dr. Joe's diet. The Super Greens and Essential Source, loaded with antioxidants. Avocados, loaded with antioxidants, and they have fat in them, good fat, which helps you absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K. Avocados also provide about 20 other essential nutrients, including potassium, vitamin E, vitamin B. Avocados are amazing. And the cool part about avocados is they make you feel full. So for breakfast, many times, I'll have an avocado. I'll buy a bunch of them. And how do you know an avocado's ripe? If you're a rookie in the avocado world, when you push on the skin, it should feel like you're gently pushing on the tip of your nose. That's a good rule for fruit, by the way, to know it's ripe. It should feel like the tip of your nose. And that's when the avocado's perfect. And then as soon as it gets that way, it happens pretty quickly, once it turns, put it in the refrigerator. And that'll slow down the ripening process a lot. I don't recommend putting them in the refrigerator when you get home and then taking them out to ripen. I find they don't ripen as well. I find it better the other way. So it should feel like the tip of your nose. And how do you eat an avocado? Well, the one thing you're thinking about is guacamole. I know you are because everybody likes guacamole. Well, most people like guacamole. I just cut it in half, take the pit out, sprinkle a little salt on it. I'll even add extra oil to it. When you take the pit out, there's a little hole in there. I'll fill it with olive oil and some salt. I'll eat it right out of the shell. Spectacular, delicious, inexpensive, filling, loaded with nutrients. People say, well, do I have to put it in a smoothie? Just eat it. Right? Is that a Michael Jackson song? Oh, no, it was, what was the guy's name? Weird Al Yankovic, right? Eat it? Anyway. Pop culture reference there. Besides being anti-inflammatory, research suggests it can improve your lipid profile, protects your liver from damage, and can inhibit oral cancers. Wait a minute. That sounds like a pretty good thing here. I at least have one avocado a day, and most days. I can't say every day. But it can bring down inflammation because it's good fats. And so you want to stay away from the bad fats. What are the bad fats? Well, like we said, not coconut oil, peanut oil, soybean oil, corn oil, vegetable oil, canola oil. These are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. And as a chiropractor, my job is to help bring down inflammation and bring down your pain, not increase your pain. And so many people are increasing their pain every single day, not only from having pinched nerves that needs chiropractic care, but by not addressing their diet. And you eat inflammatory foods, you eat foods like high in omega-6 fatty acids, you eat irritating foods like the 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. And so no wonder you're inflamed. No wonder you're grumpy. No wonder your brain isn't working like it's supposed to. No wonder you can't function in a healthy relationship, physically or emotionally. Because your body is just so toxic. No wonder the world is falling apart. If I could get into schools and change the school lunch program, stop having treats given out. It's not a treat when you give somebody a poison. And that goes for your house too. Get the bad foods out of the house. Because if they're in the house, you're going to eat them. You know, I used to be overweight. I have stretch marks on my chest, the back of my legs. So I used to be a fat kid. I totally get being fat. And as a neat supplement, I'll give a lot of my patients, and it works pretty good. It's called Gymnema. And Gymnema helps curb your sugar cravings. And in severe cases, like you're dying for a piece of cake or whatever it is, I'll tell people, all right, here's the deal. I'll negotiate with you. Because you know me, I'll negotiate with anything. I want you to chew a Gymnema tablet. Now, it doesn't taste very good, but that's not the point. Chew it, rinse it out of your mouth, and then try eating something sugary. Doesn't taste good. And I've done this, and it works amazingly well. And then I'll say, all right, still feel like that cake now? And you're like, nah, it doesn't even taste good. I don't feel like eating it. And so that can help break you of your sugar cravings if it's really that bad. But sugar, alcohol, meat, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener causes inflammation. And as your chiropractor, I want to reduce inflammation. I want to unpinch the nerves, and I want to get the body working normally again. So try these. Try the Super Greens, the essential source. Try eating avocado every day. Try stevia sweetened soda. Try drinking a natural herbal tea as opposed to a toxic tea. A lot of black tea, by the way, is high in aluminum. And it's not that it's added to it. Black tea has a tendency to absorb aluminum out of the soil. Now, there is no safe level of aluminum. Do I have black tea? Very seldom. Will I have a cup every now and then? Yeah, I will. But there's no safe level of aluminum or mercury in your body. And we have sources of aluminum like antiperspirants. Why would you put aluminum under your armpit, thin part of your skin where it can be absorbed into your body? It makes 0 sense when you could use something called deodorant. Now, I don't even use commercial deodorant. I know this is a little airy-fairy hippie, but I make my own. And on my website, I have a recipe that I use, and it's shea butter, coconut oil, baking soda, equal parts, and I put a little tea tree oil in there. Don't put too much tea tree oil in because it can irritate your armpits. But it works great. I get a double boiler, melt the shea butter, the coconut butter, and the baking soda. You're thinking, oh, my God, that's like cooking. It takes about 3 minutes to do. Don't be silly. Put it in a container, have it in my bathroom, scoop a little out, rub it on, and go on my way. Works great. It's natural. It's good for you, as opposed to taking a highly toxic chemical like aluminum and shoving it under my armpits. And some people say, oh, I use the stone. The stone is all natural. Ha ha. Wrong again, cowboy. The stone has alum in it. It has aluminum in it. That's why it works so well. And when I called the company one time, a couple of years ago, and I said, you have aluminum, alum, in your stone. Well, it's a big molecule. It's not being absorbed by the body. I don't want to put any molecule in my body that's going to be bad for me. And I don't believe it's not being absorbed by the body. It's like sucralose, artificial sweetener. The theory is that it tastes sweet, but it doesn't be absorbed in your colon, so it passes right through you, and so that's why it has 0 calories. Well, now once we've done a little more advanced study on it, we find that a percentage of that sucralose is being absorbed, and it's affecting your estrogen receptor sites. So if you have an alternative, why not use the alternative? Let's assume for a second that I'm wrong. So what? I'm wrong. But if I'm right, which I am, time will say Dr. Joe was right. Time has said Dr. Joe is right time and time and time again. I talked about hydrogenated oils being the number one cause of heart disease, or a number one cause of affecting circulation. 2 years later, report on CNN. The number one cause of heart disease in this country is margarine, which is a hydrogenated oil. I was right. And guess what? Now, by 2018, we got to get all the trans fat or the hydrogenated oils out of your diet. When you hydrogenate an oil, it creates a trans fat. Hydrogenation is a process. And a trans fat is the end result. So here we are now getting it out of our food. I was right. How many people died between 20 years ago when I talked about this and now when it's coming out of our diet because of hydrogenated oils and trans fats? A lot. So if I'm right in just one thing, follow it. If I'm right in everything, which I am, you'll be very happy that you did. And when your friends around you who didn't follow it said, wow, but now hydrogenated oils, heart disease, artificial sweetener can cause brain tumors. If I'm eating too much food that can too much high fructose corn syrup prevents the production of nitric oxide, which opens up my blood vessels, and now I have circulatory issues. And you can say, well, Dr. Joe talked about that 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago. I have 2 books out. If you're a reader, I've got one book called Eating Right for the Health of It. Great book. Second book, even better still, Prescription for Extreme Health. 2 great books. Get them. Read them. Give them as gifts. Because, and if you don't like reading, go to my website. I archive hundreds of hours of radio shows. I videotape a lot of my lectures. Put the videotapes on my website. Because so many people need to learn about health, and there's no source out there that's easy, quick, and in listening to my radio shows, free. Can't get a better deal than that, folks. I ain't going to come to your house. It's just the best deal I can give you. So, giving you strategies that you can implement every single day in your life. Another fun thing is eating fermented foods. Kimchi, sauerkrauts, because fermented foods have something in it called probiotics. And fermented foods are potent chelators. They actually detoxify a lot of chemicals out of your body. Chelators can take things like mercury and lead out of your system, and aluminum. And they contain much higher levels of beneficial bacteria than probiotic supplements. So people say, well, Dr. Joe, I want to take a probiotic. I add probiotics to Dr. Joe's Essential Source because you need good bacteria constantly being put into your body because we're killing it off. Fermented vegetables, even better still. Now, that would require a little bit of work on your part because if you buy commercial sauerkraut or kimchi, it's usually pasteurized. And when you pasteurize it, you kill off a lot of the bacteria. I don't want you doing that. You can make your own, or at least eat cabbage. You ever notice that a lot of fermented vegetables are cabbages? Because cabbage has a naturally high occurring level of probiotics in it. And so you could take cabbage and salt and press it together and make sauerkraut. Where the probiotics come from? They're in the cabbage. So at least eat cabbage on a regular basis. Don't cook it. You can cook it if you want, but you're going to kill off the probiotics. Eat raw cabbage. What do we call raw cabbage? Coleslaw. Oh, there's a cool word. And you can buy packages of salad, pre-made salads. I see them in all the stores. And it's an Asian mix. I just bought some the other day. It's an Asian mix, and it has different types of cabbages in it. And it has some toasted almonds in it. Has a salad dressing. Salad dressing, little high in sugar, but you don't use a whole lot of it. So I'm not too worried about that. And it cost, at the big box store, it was a big thing. 2 big servings for $2.69. That's $1.40 a serving for an amazing food that's going to give you probiotics and fiber and sulfur. Now, again, I'm a chiropractor. Why sulfur? Sulfur can help rebuild your joints. And as a chiropractor, I want to make sure your joints are as healthy as possible. And so eating things that are high in sulfur, like cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, the cruciferous vegetables. Side note, why are they called cruciferous? The buds, when they form, the flowers are in the shape of a crucifix. So they're called cruciferous. Useless information. But the cruciferous vegetables are high in sulfur, which can help build up healthy joints. And they're high in probiotics. So you see, there's no downside to this. For $1.40, you can have a salad, quick, easy, cheap, better for you. Why would you want to go out and spend $10 on a burger and fries? And after the salad, you're going to have energy and feel good, and your bowels will work better, and you'll lose weight, you'll look younger. The burger will speed up your aging process, make you fat, make you old, clog up your arteries, increase your pain levels. Why would you want to do that when you have the better choice? Eating Right for the Health of It is a great guide on how to change your diet. Prescription for Extreme Health, my second book, is a total handbook. Everything from digestion, nutrition, diet, stomach work. There's a bonus section in there for athletes. Really a good book. You should get them. They're on my website, drjoeesposito.com. And you could also get Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source on my website, which is what? drjoeesposito.com. So, folks, if you have a healthcare problem, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, you've been in a car accident ever, whether it was yesterday or 50 years ago, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. So many of you are suffering needlessly. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, go to my website, make an appointment to come see us. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. So go to the website. You can do it right online. There's phone numbers there if you want to call, if you have questions. We accept most major medical insurances, car accidents, sports injuries, workers' comp. My goal is to get you well. Not a lawyer. I don't deal with the insurance companies, but I'll write you an awesome report that can help get you a better settlement, which is really important when it comes to health care. Because so many times, it used to be that insurance adjusters, you could talk to them. Now it's all computerized. What the doctor says in his report, they punch that in a computer, and the computer says, this injury is worth this much dollars. And that's it. That's how it's all done now. There's a computer program called Colossus. One of the big insurance companies use it. And they just punch in numbers and codes that the doctor puts in his report, and it comes up with a number. And that's how you settle your case. So a lot of times you'll say, well, I'm a good attorney, and I fight hard. And that's important to have a good attorney. But really, the most important thing is the doctor report, way more important than your attorney, because they all use computers similar to Colossus. So if you want to come see us, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, acid reflux, heartburn, go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. I want you to do this. Bring your friends, bring your family, and bring your kids. Because children, if they're straight, grow straight. And if they're crooked, they grow crooked. Now, be prepared to make some changes in your life, and make sure you show up for your appointment. Because we're going to reserve time for you, and if you don't show up, you took that time away from somebody else. That's bad karma. And I promise you, it's going to come back and bite you. So make the appointment, show up, and be ready to make some changes, because we want to get you well, and we want to keep you well. So we're talking today about little things that you can do every single day to keep yourself healthy. And another fun thing you can do is donate blood. And the reason I recommend you donate blood, especially for men and postmenopausal women, but everybody if you can, is because we always talk about low iron. Now, if you're anemic, it might be an issue. But if you're anemic, if you go to a plant-based diet, anything that's red beans, Swiss chard, cherries, strawberries, loaded with iron. But also anything green is loaded with iron. And so the easiest way to fix anemia is to get on a good plant-based diet. And in most cases, that solves the problem. Now, if it doesn't fix it, you might want to check to see if you have any internal bleeding. You might be wasting blood somewhere. But for men and postmenopausal women, we can build up too much iron. And if you have too much iron in your blood, that can cause some real serious problem. It's an iron overload. So the level of irons, if left untreated, can damage your organs and even contribute to things like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases. So go donate blood. It's a great thing to do. Somebody said, well, how do you know that blood isn't being used for unnecessary surgery? I had somebody say that to me once. I said, I don't care. I did my good deed. My good deed is I gave you a pint of some of the finest blood in the world. And whoever gets that blood, good for them, because it's going to be really good, healthy blood. So I've done my part. What's done after that in the cosmic world is out of my hands. The serum ferritin is what measures your stored iron. You don't want to have it too high. So to get the best results, be sure to check your iron levels and make sure that they're within normal limits. Now, I think that a lot of the labs have the limits too high, what is normal. I think it should be a little lower. No higher than 80 nanograms per milliliter if you have to have a number, 80 nanograms per milliliter. If it's above 80 nanograms per milliliter, the solution is real simple. Go donate blood. Don't eat the cookies afterwards, by the way, folks. If you want to bring something with you, I donate blood, I feel fine. But some people get a little weak or dizzy. Bring some fruit. Bring some vegetables. Take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source with you. And drink that after donate blood. But don't eat the cookies and the juices and everything loaded with sugar and fructose and high fructose corn syrup. So you just did a good deed. Don't dump a bunch of toxins back into your body. But I donate, 2, 3, 4 times a year when I can. In fact, a friend of mine, it was interesting because you have to be careful now if you're active and you're dating because there's a big epidemic of social diseases. In fact, in the Atlanta area, I know the Atlanta stats, 1 in 3 active adults are positive for herpes. So you've got to be real careful about who you're spending time with. And a little trick that she used to do is, and she was a very good girl, but if she started dating somebody for a while and she thought she was going to get a little further in the relationship, I'll keep it clean here, she would say, do you ever donate blood? And if the person said yes, they say, how often? because when they test your blood, they'll test you for certain social disease. Now, they don't check for herpes. So it's really important that you get your blood test done before you get to the next level of a relationship, because you don't want to get some cooties that never go away because you decided to make some rash decisions. So just be careful out there, folks. What was that? Hill Street Blues, right? Be careful out there. I want you to be careful out there because it is a jungle, and you never know what's going to happen. And blood work is cheap. Get tested for everything, and if you agree with the other person, then you can move forward. If not, you made a very wise decision. So be careful with that. But giving blood, another little thing you can do to keep yourself healthy. Make sure your vitamin D levels are where they should be. I think in my career, I don't even know if I've even seen one patient with normal vitamin D levels. And I've seen a lot of patients in my career. So vitamin D is usually low, and too low vitamin D can lead to things like chronic diseases, even something as cold and flu, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, depression, dementia. So make sure you check your vitamin D levels. Personally, I take 5,000 international units of vitamin D every day until springtime comes around and I can get outside and it's warm. Once the angle of the sun hits the earth in spring and summer, you can get 20 minutes of sun every day. So if nothing else, drive with your windows open and put your arm out, your bare arm out. Let it hit your neck and face. Get out in the sun about 20 minutes a day. You're going to get about 20,000 international units of vitamin D for 20 minutes in the sun. In the winter, I take 5,000 international units a day, and I take it with something fatty like an avocado. Because remember, we said you need fat in your diet to absorb things like vitamin A, D, E, and K. So that's why I take it with something fatty. I want to get the best bang for my buck. There's different sources of vitamin D. Make sure you take vitamin D3, not vitamin D2. Vitamin D2 is a prescription. I'm not a medical doctor. I cannot tell you to take or not take prescriptions. But I can tell you the research shows that vitamin D is hundreds of times more effective than vitamin D2. Vitamin D3 is more effective. So take the vitamin D3, and it's cheaper, by the way. D3, it comes from fish oil, not my favorite version because it can have mercury contamination. Lanolin, which is sheep wool, or algae oil. Algae oil is more expensive. Lanolin is reasonable. So the cheapest thing you can do for your immune system and for your health is take vitamin D every day. Again, I'm about 195 to 200 pounds. I just weighed myself the other day. I'm 200 pounds. I'm 6'1". So I would recommend 5,000 international units. You're not going to overdose on it, folks. You got to take a lot of vitamin D3 to overdose. In fact, if the prescriptions, what did I give you? 50,000 units once a week. I'd rather you have 5,000 units every day. You absorb it better. You can only absorb so much of anything in your body. So get your vitamin D levels tested and make sure you're getting the proper amounts. So we're talking today about strategies that you can implement every single day. You want to get your omega-3 fatty acids up high. I take a gram of omega-3 fatty acids every day. I get it from algae oil because I'm a vegan. I don't eat animal products. Fish oil, not the best choice. Could be contaminated with mercury. Krill oil is a better choice if you're cost conscious and you're okay eating animals. Krill oil is going to give you a good source of omega-3, and it's in what's called a phospholipid form, which is easier to absorb. Algae oil, more expensive, but it's the purest kind. I actually put chlorella and spirulina algae into my super greens to give you the omega-3s as well. So, things you can do right away: change your diet, make sure your nervous system is working properly. If you have neck pain, back pain, don't ignore it, get it fixed. If your stomach is causing acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, go to my website, read the article on GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, and find a doctor, we do it, that can pull your stomach away from your diaphragm. If nothing else, start with Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. It's a great source of the minimum amount of nutrients that you need every single day. And do it for a month, and I think you're going to be blown away with how good you start to feel, even within just a couple of days. Everyone who takes it says that to me. And if you want to come see us as a patient, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We would love to have you come see us. Go to my website, drjoeesposito.com. We'll set you up a time to come in. If you make an appointment, you got to show up for your appointment, which is really important, and be ready to make some changes. I know you're not going to do everything, but I want you to do something. We may recommend chiropractic care. We may recommend nutritional care. The average treatment in my offices is 60 days. That's average. Some more, some less, but about 60 days. And then we reevaluate you and then talk about a maintenance program to keep you at peak performance. But if you've been in a car accident, sports injuries, if you want to make an appointment, Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We see most of our new patients in Marietta. Go to the website. We'll set you up as soon as possible. And trust me, it's affordable. And don't be like most of my patients who say, why didn't I do this sooner? Why you're suffering needlessly if you don't have to. drjoeesposito.com. Hey, folks, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. 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 Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.